Hello and welcome to the Join Dota League Season 3 here on HeflaTV 1. This is going to be Game 2 of our Best of 2 series between Bananas and Pajamas and AlbumSheet. Now, Sphere Casters, I'm Grandis V, and I'll be joined by Mike Loris.
Yeah, game number one was kind of difficult to watch. Bananas and Pajamas had a support duo that didn't really do anything, I would say. Shadow Demon, Brewmaster, roaming, but not making any kills happen or anything like that. Whereas Album Sheet, they had one lane that was pretty convincingly lost by them as they did completely abandon one lane, but their Batrider got enough to make those initiations happen, and their Wraith King got a Blink Dagger early on, and well, it just snowballed out of control for Album Sheet, even though they did have, for Bananas and Pajamas rather, even though they did have a pretty stacked Slark. So hopefully for Bananas and Pajamas, they're going to pull something a little bit different out of the hat, because if they try to go for that same kind of a weird lineup, I would say, then they're most certainly not going to have a great time again.
Even when they were able to trade well as far as kills are concerned, AlbumSheet split them up as far as the map, and well, we're able to take down towers very effectively, with the Razor being left untouched by the Tidehunter as well as the Troll Warlord. Whenever you leave one of those in the lane, they'll be able to take their towers, especially when you get the farm that both of them had last game. So it is going to be up a lot to the draft, and whether or not Bananas and Pajamas are going to be able to make something happen with their supports, this draft is looking eerily familiar, but it's going to be flipped as far as who's going to get which heroes, as Album Sheet pick themselves up the first pick Brewmaster, and Bananas and Pajamas start off with the Razor.
And if they pick up a Batrider here also, then it will be literally the exact same heroes. So we might even see the same lane assignments and whatnot, but I don't really think we're going to see a Zeus and Troll again, though I would love to, because I kind of want to see a little bit more of those heroes, just see how well they act. One game, it's hard to evaluate how strong they are, but Faceless Void's still in the pool, and he was kind of ignored until last... God damn it, guys. Faceless Void was ignored until the third stage, but this game, it's going to be the exact same as last.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the Batrider and Razor, Faceless Void doesn't combo very well with them. He's good with the Razor, but with the Batrider as well on your team, I don't think we'll be seeing a Faceless Void coming out from Bananas and Pajamas. And with the Brewmaster, Faceless Void doesn't really combo well. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's ignored so far into the pool. But with a Jakiro pickup from Album Sheet, I don't think Bananas and Pajamas will let the Faceless Void through to the second picking stage. Jakiro is a very interesting hero to see, and as a support, generally, you're just going to max out that Liquid Fire, put a lot of pressure on the towers early, and then if you can line up an Ice Path, it's all the better for you in team fights.
There's been only one team that I've seen pick up a Jakiro this highly. That was Balkan Bears, putting the Jakiro in the mid lane as a core. I don't know if that's going to be the same plan for Album Sheet. I don't know how it's going to work against a Razor. But as far as picking up a core Jakiro, getting maxed out in the Liquid Fire and the Dual Breath means you're going to be putting on a lot of damage onto the Bananas and Pajamas heroes. So if they don't have a Viper or anyone else who has a high amount of magic resistance, they are going to burn down really quickly. Also, this means that Album Sheet are probably going to gear their lineup to be really, really, really aggressive, try to take down towers, and really shut down everyone from Bananas and Pajamas. Kill the Batrider a lot of times where he has Blink Dagger, stuff like that. Otherwise, there's no reason to pick up a Jakiro this early.
Definitely thrives in those early game situations where you can put pushes on those towers, and he doesn't really scale well later into the game unless you're able to get that infusion of gold. And Bananas and Pajamas pick themselves up a Treant Protector. I really don't like this pick, to be honest. It is going to negate somewhat of the chip damage that Jakiro is going to put in the towers, but that said, the living armor is going to be more or less negated when Liquid Fire is on the towers. They'll eat through those charges individually. So on one side of the coin it's good, then one side of the coin it's bad. I want to see this Treant Protector be played a little bit more aggressively than some teams like to do it, so that they'll actually be able to get something out of it, or at least have some heroes that'll benefit from the living armor support.
I would say the bad side of the coin is a little bit bigger than the good side. However you make a coin like that, I don't know, but it's definitely going to be the case. Treant Protector is a fantastic hero with Batrider and Razor, but people pick up Jakiro to counter Treant Protector, like the dual breath damage over time, plus the Liquid Fire, and even later on Macro Pyre. Treant Protector's armor isn't really going to be doing anything to protect these towers, because Album Sheet, though they are, kind of a slow pushing comp with the Jakiro, they could always go for a Death Prophet, and at that point, Living Armor is going to be doing next to nothing, because Jakiro can always step up Liquid Fire every, 5 seconds at level 4? 4 seconds at level 4. And your Living Armor is not going to be able to keep up with that. So I really don't like this pick from Bananas and Pajamas. Unless they have something weird planned for this hero, which I'm doubting, it's going to be not the most effective hero in the world. AlbumSheet, their I believe first support. I want to believe it's going to be a mid lane Jakiro, but they're going to pick up the Witch Doctor.
I see a Faceless Void in Album Sheet's future with Jakiro as well as Witch Doctor in the supporting cast, whether they actually lane that way or not. When you get a Chronoster with Macropyre on it as well as a Channeling Death Ward, that's ridiculous, and I don't really see a good reason to avoid picking that hero up.
They could go for Faceless Void. They could also pick up a Shadow Shaman if, again, they want to lane the Jakiro in core, which I'm really, really hoping for. I love seeing that happen. But yeah, Faceless Void would be fantastic with Witch Doctor Jakiro. I don't know if there are many better heroes that work with the Chronosphere aside from Witch Doctor Jakiro, but they're certainly up there, those two. And Bananas and Pajamas, they're going to pick up a Disruptor. I don't really... Oh, hell yeah. AlbumSheet going to pull out the big guns. Disruptor's boring, guys. We don't care about Disruptor. We care about Ogre Magi. Right now, it's not going to go well with anyone just yet because no one could really use the Bloodlust, but lots of dots means that Treant Protector's armor is going to be really pathetic.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks like AlbumSheet are just going to go ridiculously aggressive with this draft. I don't see there's really another way to play these heroes. Yeah, Faceless Void banned out. Definitely can understand that one. Yeah, Ogre Magi caught me completely off guard, but I love it.
Do you think they're going to be going for a Lone Druid here? That's the most standard, I would say, pushing and Ogre Magi synergizing hero. And there's nothing great for Bananas and Pajamas, at least that they can pick up right now, that could counter that. Razor's okay, because he can still damage from the bear. But if they just go for grouping 5-man Death Ball status from, you know, level 5 on everyone, then they could really punish Bananas and Pajamas.
Yeah, I definitely see Lone Druid as a hero that could work out for AlbumSheet. It would also allow them to scale a little bit later on, but more than anything, it would rip to shreds the towers. With Jakiro Liquid Fire as well as Demolish coming out from the Spirit Bear, structures are going to fall, living armor or not.
Alright, so I was thinking Jakiro in the solo mid-roll. Do you think there's any other chance that Jakiro is going to be played in the support and either Ogre Magi or Witch Doctor are going to get core amounts of farm?
I definitely think it's a possibility, although an unlikely one. I'd love to see a mid-Ogre, though.
Reserve time.
Mid-Ogre versus Razor? That's a
terrible
tough
matchup. Yeah. It's not pretty. Jakiro would probably fare a lot better.
Well, Bananas and Pajamas, they are certainly caught by surprise at the very least, because I know we both are, so I can only assume they are as well. What are they going to pick up for their last? Because as of right now, they have a good amount of initiation. They have a decent amount of team fight with Disruptor and Treant Protector, and they can fight early on with their Razor. But their towers are going to be pushed really hard. They're just going to go middle of the road with Mirana. She's not going to have that much setup, and she's probably going to be played as a core. The Tri-Lane and Mirana Disruptor Treant Protector has to be played defensively, I think. So it's going to be those three on top, Batrider bottom, Razor in the middle lane.
I don't like this Mirana pick. I think it's a little too non-committal. I would have liked to see maybe a little bit more of an aggressive carry coming out from them. An AlbumSheet, they're just going to straight up 5-man push. There's going to be very little that Bananas and Pajamas are going to be able to do to stop it. Their counter push is pretty bad, and with a Venomancer, Ogre Magi, Witch Doctor, Jakiro, those four heroes, although traditionally you don't see them as cores, in this game they're going to be played as such, and when they're knocking on your door, it's going to be up to Bananas and Pajamas in order to defend against that, and they need their core items before they're able to do anything.
Alright guys, so the way this game is going to pan out is that AlbumSheet are going to look to take down towers very quickly, probably all the tier 2 towers, and then try to breach high ground. If they do that within like 30 minutes, they win the game. If not, they lose the game. That's pretty much it, because if the game does extend late, there's no late game heroes on the AlbumSheet side, so they're all in on the early game. They're all in on the pushing. So let's see who is going to be playing what to make that happen. We got No Fear on the bottom lane, playing the Venomancer solo. He's going to face up against the Batrider, it looks like, so it should be a decent matchup there. Chomi's going to be handling the mid lane Brew. On top, it's going to be Bignum as the Ogre Magi, supporting, along with Vovapane's Witch Doctor, and Inquisitor is going to be the core Jakiro. I love it.
Yeah, that's a very scary aggressive lane, and Bananas and Pajamas, their lane that's going up against it is going to be X and Gray, playing in the Treant Protector. Mirana going to be handled by Cole. The stand-in for this game, I believe he formerly played on... Oh dear, I can't remember the team, but Shiva. Yeah, My Insanity. And Shiva's going to be playing the Disruptor. The mid-hero is going to be Roy. Playing on the Razor, and offlane will be the solo Batrider handled by Farm with me.
I'd just like to point out Bignum's starting items, Boots of Speed. This is... I believe, the best way to play Ogre Magi, because if you take a look at his starting stats, so he has no stat items in his inventory, so everything that you see is what you get. He has 6 base armor, he has almost 600 health, and 61 base attack. This guy is an absolute tank at level 1, and if you have Boots of Speed, plus if you get Ignite level 1, you could very easily just tunnel vision onto one target and very easily kill him off. I love Ogre Magi when he's played like this, and he's really excels when he's being played as a super aggressive support. And because the lane is 3 intelligence heroes, I don't think Bloodlust is going to be on the docket, not at all.
No, it's just going to be straight up Ignite as well as the, oh dear, Fire Blast, that's what it's called. Yeah, the stun. And yeah, I don't think there's going to be a lot that Bananas and Pajamas can do to contest that. If they isolate Shiva, or even Cole or X and Gray for that matter, they're going to die very quickly. Bignum currently is giving the farm the way of Inkfister, and it looks like it is going to be that farming Jakiro, probably going to be building a Basilius for this lane very quickly to start things off. But yeah, the Treant Protector and the Disruptor are kind of zoned out. There's not a whole lot that they can do. They're going to try for a pull, but I definitely think that AS have the tools to contest that one, even if they do attempt for it.
AlbumSheet are denying all sorts of farm to this Mirana. She hasn't even had a chance to last click a creep yet, and with 45 base damage, it's going to be difficult for her to do so, although, you know, snagging a deny as soon as I say that. She's going to get hit with a lot of dots in this lane, and Bignum, he is tanking up one too many hits because Vovapane isn't actually there to be the one to poke at the enemies. I think it should be kind of the other way around, have the Witch Doctor ranged hero poke at the Mirana and try to zone out the tree, while the Ogre Magi is sitting in the wings waiting for that Paralyzing Casket to open. But they're waiting for level 2 and level 3. That's when things are really going to get going. Then Jakiro is going to have, I think by level 3, 1-1-1 in his build. He'll be able to get kills very easily, and then they'll have Ignite on the Ogre Magi as well. This might even be a time to get Maledict, though I think even Voodoo Restoration would be very helpful for the sustain in this pushing. But top lane, it's pretty much dominated by AlbumSheet, and bottom lane, showing the same thing. No Fear. Playing with No Fear versus the Batrider is very easily winning that lane.
Yeah, Batrider can't do a whole lot up against the spam coming up from these Plague Wards. He can try to right-click them down, but Firefly is going to do absolutely nothing as they are magic immune, and he's just completely zoned out with 1 point into Poison Sting, 2 points in the wards. Batrider can do nothing.
Mid lane, though, Chomi is having the most difficulty out of everyone from the AlbumSheet, but I think they're going to be okay with the slow Brewmaster because they have so many other super aggressive early game heroes that even if the Brewmaster doesn't have what he needs early on, they'll have more than enough in order to pick up that slack. And Jakiro level 2 has gone for Dual Breath as well. Chomi's getting chased down by a Razor. I don't even think he can hit him a single time, but he's still doing a lot of damage. -8 damage per hit for the Brewmaster. Yeah, waiting for the top lane to suddenly burst out in aggression, because this should be where the first blood happens. If it happens anywhere else, that's going to be because someone messed up.
Yeah, for now, Cole is just completely zoned. He has Leap if he does get gone on, so not the easiest hero to get, but no, Bignum's going to chew through the trees. Now just going to start bopping him, stuns him up as well. We're going to have Paralyzing Gas to follow up. It's not going to be disjointed by the Leap, but no way to follow that one up. So unfortunately, that's not going to be our first blood coming out from AlbumSheet. The two supports have completely left the Mirana alone, and instead are going to smoke up towards mid.
Disruptor and Treant Protector is not the greatest as far as locking down a single target, but if Brewmaster is for whatever reason low health, then they can get the kill. They just lack lockdown in order to kill off this Brewmaster, who, by the way, already has boots. So I don't see this kill actually happening unless they open up somehow with the Leech Seed into Kinetic Field. They have to have the stars align if they get this kill on the Brewmaster, but they're going to instead change direction and head right back up towards top. Once again, the Bananas and Pajamas side, their first smoke attempt is going to lead to absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty big problem for Bananas and Pajamas as far as just drafting is concerned. They kind of set their supports up for failure. There's very little that they can do as X and Gray gets stunned up. The follow-up is going to come out, or will it? The Kinetic Field is going to delay things for now as X and Gray is just being right-clicked down by Jakiro as well as the Witch Doctor. It looks like he's going to die, or will he? One more is all that they need, and Vovapane sustaining with the Voodoo Restoration. They're looking for Cole potentially as well, but instead Shiva's going to be sent up with the Liquid Fire follow-up. There's no way for this Disruptor to run. He'll throw a Kinetic Field, but that's going to be it. It'll actually set up an arrow onto Vovapane, but Vovapane, I don't think they'll be able to follow this one up. They'll start with the Leech Seed, and they might just leave the Witch Doctor for dead here, but I think they have enough backup to save him, or do they? Vovapane still healing up. He has a salve to pop if he needs it, and just continuing that Voodoo Restoration. X and Gray is one to eat the stun coming out from the Fire Blast. The follow-up Liquid Fire is there, and there's also a TP. If they get this arrow, could end up being a kill, but in the end, it's going to split the wickets.
Unfortunately for AlbumSheet, oh wait, Brewmaster also made a rotation that entire time. Haste Rune on him didn't need a split because Haste Rune plus phase means a lot of base damage. But I was about to say, unfortunately for AlbumSheet, they used all their mana in that dive for 2 heroes. But now with Arcane Boots up on Ink Visitor and well, no gold for secondary Arcane Boots just yet. They're going to continuously apply pressure to this top lane, and Bignum, he's going for the max damage build. He's going to go for Ignite, which does more damage than Fire Blast, but of course Fire Blast has a more impressive multicast, so he's going to look to burn people down, and when that happens, this Living Armor, it's not going to last long. We already mentioned that. This Living Armor is going to be pretty much a dead tool, at least when versing up against this top lane. Maybe up against the Brewmaster will be relevant, but even then, Fire Panda burns through that really quickly.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the tower, whenever they throw up the Living Armor to try to heal it up, the Liquid Fire comes out from Ink Visitor, and it just completely shreds it, and the chip damage is still coming out, even though they have a Treant Protector, which is pretty impressive. Ink Visitor might get glimpsed back here. They do have a Razor stealing some damage. He's going to get stunned up. It will slow down Bignum, but a nice cast will delay things. The arrow's actually going to land on Vovapane. Vovapane, I think he's just going to straight up die. Leech see it up, nowhere to run as Razor secures himself a kill off of a nice rotation. This will leave Brewmaster a little bit more room to work with in mid, but still, it's unfortunate that AS lost their Witch Doctor.
Unfortunately for the Disruptor, he didn't actually have Glimpse there. I think if he had it, he would have been in range to catch one more person, though it might have just been more focused towards the Witch Doctor. Either way, they are going to get a kill, which against a lineup such as the one that AlbumSheet have crafted for themselves, any sort of kill you get is going to be huge. That means that you're going to buy yourself more time. You're going to be stronger for the inevitable push. They're going to initiate onto Cole once again. The cast is going to bounce really far behind the tower, but unfortunately, off of that, they can't get anything done, but they're going to be okay with just chipping down this tower. Ring Basilius, active for the Jakiro, plus they have level 2 Dual Breath. So if anyone walks forward, they're going to get whomped. In the meantime, bottom lane, Farm With Me is, well, trying to hide in the trees. There is a split available for the Brewmaster, but the Venommaster is also pushing down this tower very hard. This is going to be 2 tier 1 towers. Living Armor doing literally nothing up on top as it instantly gets burned through. And now this tower is going to be destroyed up on top, down on bottom. Roy's going to come in to try to make something happen, and he might be able to because Ink Visitor is being left alone, and the Connect Field will connect on the Jakiro, who's going to drop almost for sure. He landed Dual Breath, and now he's on the run. They have a Plasma Field. They have no arrow, though. The damage from Mirana is going to be enough to kill him off in the end, so AlbumSheet, they get 2 towers, though they lose the Jakiro. I don't know if they could be happy with this one. They can't afford to be losing anyone, really, especially getting picked off without any trades.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at it, they're still leading in the kill score, but as you said, when you're running a lineup that's as early game oriented as the one coming out from AlbumSheet, they really can't afford to give up that many kills. And well, in mid, they are going to drop the split onto Roy, and he's going to be stunned up as well. The damage should be there from the Immolation where he throws him up in the air. He's not going to purge him down. Eventually, he will, and now Roy's going to be cleaned up. Those are the Plasma Field, but that's about all that he can do. Now, this mid tier 1 is probably going to be brought down, although they don't have the Jakiro or the Venomancer inbound to start spamming out their spells.
No Fear is continuously playing with No Fears. He is forcing some people to always be on the bottom lane for Bananas and Pajamas. This Venomancer doesn't exactly have that much health, so if he gets caught with a single thing, then he will probably go down. But he's just applying so much pressure right now. Batrider is Fireflied off to the sides. Here comes the Treant Protector. No Fear will get Leech Seed, and this should be the death of the Venomancer, sticking around for way too long. He's going to put up as much poison damage as he can onto everyone, but it's kind of suicidal for this Venomancer, honestly. He had a Hood of Defiance flying in, so he's going to go for a pipe. If he had that one, he might have survived because of that regeneration plus magic resistance, but unfortunately, AlbumSheet, they are playing this very focused lineup, and they're not exactly getting the hero kills that they would really want.
Yeah. Venomancer going for this pipe is going to be very important for AlbumSheet, as it'll allow them to break high ground a lot easier. The counter push that Bananas and Pajamas do have is going to be almost completely negated, most notably the Firefly as well as the Plasma Field.
Top lane, Novapane trying to get a couple more his levels up. He's going to try to teleport away. Glimpse is available, though Shiva is blind to the fact that there is a Witch Doctor there. Everyone's going to assemble on the mid lane. They have the Ring of Basilius, or Ring of Basilii. They have multiple? I don't know what the plural is. I don't know if there is a plural. They're going to go for a tier 1 tower, and I think this might just be 5-man go for pushing time. Brewmaster is waiting in the wings behind the tier 2 tower with an invisibility rune. 30 seconds until he has his split, but with the Liquid Fire level 3, they have a Buckler, plus they have maxed out Plague Wards. This should be a pretty clean sweep of this tier 2 towers. Bananas and Pajamas, though, they're looking for a fight. They got a Disruptor up on top. If you catch someone with a Kinetic Field, that could be pretty huge. Ink Visitor has to be careful to not extend too far away from his team. The Jakiro is the most important hero for AlbumSheet to keep alive at this stage. They could lose Vovapane, they won't really care, but if they lose Jakiro, the pushing pretty much stops. No Fear as well, but the chances of No Fear dropping, I feel like, are a little bit lower, given that he does have that Hood of Defiance.
Yeah, Inkvisor is sending himself out. The mech is on the backlines. They drop the split onto Farm With Me. He's going to be bouldered up with the Immolation Aura as well as the right clicks. It won't be enough, and he'll be able to fly Firefly towards the left. Razor going to be perched down to the ground from Roy. He's not going to be body blocked or stunned up. The boulder is going to come through at the end of the day, but Vovapane, he's getting body blocked by his team, and in the end will fall to the fire damage. I think maybe the creeps were the ones that brought him down. Inkvisor being focused down by Roy. He's going to be sent up by the Ogre Magi, and they might be able to get the Shakira out to safety, or will they? The Eye of Storm working on too hard, and now the Venomancer also not looking too pretty. His kinetic field is going to miss. Not going to stop the pursuit, but No Fear will survive.
So they lose 2 AlbumSheet. They bring the tower down to about half HP, and this is a small window of opportunity where the Treant Protector is going to get some value out of his living armor, but all things considered, it went very, very well for Bananas and Pajamas. Now the Razor picks up his mech. No Blink Dagger yet on the Batrider, but once he has that, I think it just might be all over for AlbumSheet, because right now things are not going that great for them. They have the tower advantage, so the gold is, you know, going their way for now, but they are going to slowly lose this advantage that they've accrued for themselves if they don't make something decisive happen. And by that I mean take down all of these tier 2 towers. That'll help them a lot, because that'll give them their pipe, that'll give them, well, complete a mech on the Jakiro. I don't even know what they want. Blink Dagger is up on the Brewmaster. So the next set of items in the next towers are going to be super important for AlbumSheet. If they don't lose anyone, they should be okay still.
Bignum going to be tagged by the arrows. Tier 2 tower is falling very low. I think that's going to die in this engagement as No Fear drops his ultimate on Everray. Now the Witch Doctor channeling his. Leap away. Roy's going to take a lot of that damage and might actually take down. Do they have a Maledict or anything? No, it's just the poison from the Venomancer going to be enough to kill him. 2 kills going the way of AlbumSheet as well as the tier 2 tower. Very happy engage for them. Arrow going to land out of Chomi again. Ron has been very on point with these, but Cole can't secure that kill without any backup. And now the rotation comes out from AlbumSheet. They're probably just going to angle for his tier 2 tower up in the bottom lane. Batrider is pushing out the tier 1 tower top, but with the TP in from Bignum, I think it's not going to fall.
Chomi's got a regeneration rune, so taking all that damage from the Mirana ultimately not going to matter in the end. Liquid Fire and those Plague Wards, and the secondary tier 2 tower is going to be dropping very, very quickly. Where's your Treant Protector value now, Bananas and Pajamas? They lose the second tier 2 tower. They could go for a Shan, but I don't know if they will be the safest in doing so. With Plague Wards, they will have almost complete vision, but it looks like for now they want initiation on someone. They have a Blink Clap, and it's going to be almost up to the high ground. Chomi's going to catch Farm With Me. They don't have a Gale in range, and it looks like the Batrider will successfully fly away, though he ultimately does get tagged with the Gale. They're going to start splitting up. This isn't really good. Farm With Me taking a lot of damage from these creeps. He is spotted out because of these Plague Wards, taking a lot of damage still from the poison. Blink forward from Chomi. Not going to clap, but the Batrider does die anyway. Didn't really have anywhere to run. It's a free kill for AlbumSheet, and now I think they should go up top. Inkvisor on the bottom lane. What is he doing there all alone? Why are you still there? He's going to get slowed down. Caught in the kinetic field. Does have a mech and Liquid Fire, so he can slow down the attack speed, buy himself a little bit of time, but I don't think it's possible for him to escape. He doesn't have any ice path, though the chain does break. Roy has a lot of movement speed, more so than the Jakiro. He needs to support this Jakiro right now. Dual Breath is available, but he's getting hit pretty hard. Plasma Field will zap the Jakiro in the meantime. Cole up on top is going to get critted, though he will survive. I really don't know what Inkvisor was still doing down there.
I think he killed the Batrider. Or did that happen in mid? No. That was over by the neutrals. So yeah, I have no idea what Jakiro was doing. They didn't have vision of the heroes on the map. They were all inside their base and just overstayed his welcome a little bit. AlbumSheet aren't going to be stopped by this Jakiro kill, but it is going to slow down this next push towards the tier 2. They pick up the drum onto Chomi, and they have a lot of the tools that they need to start taking down these towers. And although AlbumSheet are still in a good position for now, if they give up maybe another couple of those kills, it won't be looking too great. Though the Ogre Magi as well as the Razor are almost neck and neck in farm, and Power Treads and Mechanism at 14 minutes in, although okay farm, is nothing compared to what AlbumSheet have at their disposal because of the vast amount of towers they've taken. 5 compared to 0 of Bananas and Pajamas.
So Bignum is going to be going for an Aghanim Scepter. It's a great item for Ogre Magi. I don't know how much I like this though, because I think a Veil would be so much better, though Inkvisor can very easily pick that one up for himself, because they're pretty much all in on magic damage, aside from Death Ward, I guess, which is physical. And Death Ward did quite a number in the last fight, but here we go. They're going to try to get that Raxus before the 20-minute mark. This is going to be the big play for AlbumSheet. If they take this, then they win the game pretty much. If not, then they're going to struggle moving forward. Chomi can jump forward for a split onto Roy with the clap available. They put up a nice Kinetic Field, though, meaning that the Brewmaster is completely away from the rest of his team. Kinetic Field does go down. The Plague Ward still being set up. They're going to jump right in Xing Gray. Going to land Overgrowth onto literally everybody. Can they get anyone down, though? The pipe is going to be popped from No Fear. The Brewmaster still in a split form, now going to rejoin back to the Brewmaster. Farm with me dropping low as is Void Pain, but the level 4 heal keeping him alive. Cole getting a stun up as with Farm with me in the poison. Now the Death Ward will bounce up to the Farm with me Bat Rider, and now they're still going to chase down Cole. Ignite and Womps from Chomi going to kill up the Mirana. In the meantime, mid lane has been completely, top lane has been completely broken in. They still have that Liquid Fire going. They still have many, many Plague Wards, and Roy with the Plasma Field is going to get clipped with the Fire Blast, plus the Gale, plus the poison damage, plus Ignite. There's so much dot on this Razor. Mech is not going to save him, I don't think. He's going to burn, and they will take down the melee Raxus up on top. Xing Gray getting hit with the Fire Blast. Ogre Magi, though, kind of low on mana. He will find his Aghanim Scepter in the enemy base to get the secondary cast onto the Treants, and GG has been called. 15 minutes in, they meet their timing. It looked a little bit bad for them for a little while, but at the end of the day, it's a very, very clean 15-minute win for AlbumSheet.
AlbumSheet just walking all over the enemy team, and that's kind of the problem you have going up against lineups like that. If you have your heroes that need their basic amount of farm before they actually do anything, they can't do anything. As the Batrider wasn't able to farm his Blink Dagger, nobody on the side of Bananas and Pajamas had anything near what you would normally have in a proper game. Well, I say proper game. That was definitely a very convincing win from AlbumSheet, but in your standard farming game, with the exception of the Razor having his treads and mechanism. But yeah, AlbumSheet, they picked unconventional heroes, but it's still kind of in the 5-man deathball push, although the timing for this one was amazing. It was like 10 to 15 minutes, and the base is dead.
Can't really ask for much more from all these AlbumSheet heroes, and I think part of this goes to the fact that Bananas and Pajamas, even though they saw this coming a mile away, or they should have seen this coming a mile away, they still went for heroes like Mirana and Treant Protector and Disruptor, who aren't that fantastic early on. Like Mirana, I think was a kind of a lightweight pick. Disruptor could have been someone a lot more useful, but to be fair, he didn't actually hit his level 6 mark in this game. The draft from Bananas and Pajamas just wasn't what they needed in order to deal with this AlbumSheet lineup.
Yeah, I think that's a fair summation of how this series went, although we are going to have another best of 2 coming up shortly. It is going to be delayed a little bit because I didn't expect this series to go as quickly, but that will be coming at, I believe, 23 CEST. So stick around. If you like the casting here, you can follow us on HeflaTV at Twitter and Facebook, as well as the VODs will be uploaded to youtube.com/HeflaMoke, English channels at HeflaTV 1 and 2, and you can also find some Chinese casts, if you do speak Chinese, on HeflaTV 5 and 6. So thank you for watching, and hope to see you back here soon for the next series.
Yeah, the next series is going to be Tengen versus THD in about 50 minutes, guys. So see you later. GG.
GG to both teams.